See you next week.
This is SportsCenter.
Another unreal NFL Sunday, nowhere more so than the dog pound. 11 touchdown passes, 96 points, and it was a nail-biter. Brett Favre tries to pass John Elway, but first he had to pass a giant test. He wasn't alone. Who withstood their Week 2 exam? Huge Sunday off the football field. Red Sox looking to play wild card. Spoiler. Some guy named Boyer takes the chase checkers. And this guy, you know, but the Tiger flirt with another record. And Las Vegas police put the squeeze on O.J. Simpson. He's arrested. The details on SportsCenter right now.
What's good? Welcome to SportsCenter. Glad you're out there with us alongside Neil Everett. I'm Scott Van Pelt. Busy night in New England, a packed house in Fenway. You just saw the Yankees win a pretty emotional ball game that went back and forth. But Neil, they're a little happier up the road in Foxborough.
Yeah, LaDainian Tomlinson has owned the Patriots in the 4 games that he's played against them in the course of his career. I'm not sure you could even find him on the tape in this game. By the way, I Spy starred Robert Culp and Bill Cosby, not Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. NFL Commissioner with some comments regarding Kraft's knowledge of Spygate later in this program. Randy Moss, new guy's first catch in the first possession for the Patriots, and another new guy. You saw Kevin Falk with the big block, and that gave Tom Brady time. Wes Welker, the new guy, and then the 7-play, 7 passes drive ends with Benjamin Watson in the corner, all alone, and the Patriots, well, they look like they're all alone in this game. From a talent perspective, they're up 7-0. Phillip Rivers, San Diego's first offensive play. Roosevelt Colvin, the interception. 1 play, 1 turnover for Norv Turner's squad. Later in the first, it's that Brady guy again to Welker. Beautiful move there, and he picks up 15 yards, and here comes New England again. Same drive, Brady, pump fake. Randy Moss, 23 yards, Patriots up 14-0. Tom Brady had a career-high 151 yards passing, 13 of 16 in the first quarter. Second quarter, it's 17-0, a 3rd and 1. Another new guy, Adalius Thomas, the interception, and he's got reservations for 6. From 65 yards, it's 24-0. Remember, San Diego had an 11-game regular season win streak going. And look at Rivers. He never sees Thomas, who had the angle, read the quarterback's eyes. And that's why they paid him the big money. Rivers, 2 interceptions in the first half, 63 yards. Opening possession, 3rd quarter, LaDainian Tomlinson. Swing pass. He's tackled by Junior Seau. LaDainian Tomlinson averaging under 2 yards per carry, the lowest in the league among guys who play. 4th and goal. Rivers says, let's go play action. Lorenzo Neal, it's a 24-7 game. Patriots unfazed. Randy Moss, 8 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's 17 catches, 288 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 2 games. Ran right by Drayton Florence right there. It's the Patriots big, and Tom Brady says, Coach, we kept the focus. So does Teddy Bruschi. Been a big week for Bill Belichick, one he hopes he doesn't have to repeat. Take a look. Patriots 38-14 is your final. New England has won its last 6 home openers. Tom Brady's numbers through 2 games, spectacular. Randy Moss's numbers through 2 games, spectacular. 407 yards for the Patriots in this game, 201 for the Chargers, a team that had big expectations when the season started and when they headed to New England.
Like Tom Brady and many of the New England Patriots are, Mark Schlereth is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And Mark, this is a matchup of 2 of the perceived best teams in not just the AFC but the NFL. New England comes out and shows that they're on a different level, at least in this ball game. How impressed were you with what they did, particularly on the offensive side of the football?
Well, they came out right there and did a Arnold Schwarzenegger most muscular pose because they put the flex down on the San Diego Chargers, and the San Diego Chargers didn't know what hit them. And what I love about this football team, listen, we're just going to do what we do. Here we go, 5 guys out in the pattern right here. You're a staunch defensive front. We'll let Tom Brady orchestrate from the pocket. It all starts with pass protection because Tom Brady is not getting touched. And you know what? Right there, Kevin Falk, step up in there, give him some time, give him some presence, and then right there, Wes Welker. Tom Brady orchestrated. Again, look at the receivers out here. We're not going to bang our heads against the wall. Very smart coaching by Bill Belichick and that New England staff. And then right there, again, as I mentioned, the time, unbelievable. You give him that kind of time, and he will dissect the defense, and that's exactly what he did.
As an offensive lineman, it must just make your heart swell with pride to hear these numbers. Through 2 games, 47 of 59, six touchdowns, 1 pick, which came off a tip ball. And the reason, I suppose, on some level, is that he has got all day to throw.
He does have all day to throw, and anytime you protect a quarterback, you're going to have good things happen to as an offense, and they protected him. Just, again, another great weekend of protection by the New England Patriots.
All right, we're going to get to their defense in a minute, how they befuddled Phillip Rivers in San Diego. But first, the coach. You want to hear what he's got to say? There he is, Bill Belichick.
They played well. They played hard tonight, and you give them all the credit in the world. They made a lot of good plays out there. I want to thank the fans for their awesome support. Definitely felt that from the time I walked out on the field. They showed up tonight, and they were with us, and they gave us some energy, and we appreciate that. We got great fans, and we got a great owner. He's been awesome all week, times in this tough situation, and I was glad it just worked out well for everybody tonight. So good to win, get back in the division next week, and you know, just take one step at a time.
Bill, you came out and you threw a bunch of short passes at the Chargers. Was that maybe, I guess, a product of what they bring in the pass rush and wanting to get the ball out quickly and maybe get them to back off a little bit?
Yeah, we thought that we could control the tempo of the game a little bit, and you know, want to try to spread the field on them. You know, Tom was sharp as usual. Got the ball to a number of different receivers. You know, Ben had some nice plays in that first drive. Got the ball down the field. You know, Randy, Wes. I mean, just go right down the line. Everybody contributed, but you know, it's good to be able to spread the ball around and you know, get on top. I mean, San Diego's a hard team to play from behind with their running game and their pass rush and all that. It's, you know, you're better off trying to play them from ahead. And, you know, fortunately, that's where we were, you know, basically the whole game.
So when you say you want to thank the fans, are you speaking on behalf of yourself or the team?
The team.
Was there concern about their focus level coming into tonight after all the transpired during the week?
No, I just think that the players did a good job this week getting ready for the game. I think it showed out there, you know, tonight. I don't think you get ready for the game, you know, 20 minutes before the game and say, well, it's time to get ready. You know, it's a whole process. And I think they did a good job this week, and I think that showed up in the play tonight.
Coach, for you personally, was this one of your most difficult weeks as a coach? Are you glad to see it finally end?
Well, the Chargers are a tough football team. They're not an easy team to prepare for, and you know, they challenge us, like I said, at every point in the game, offensively, defensively, special teams, the running game, the passing game, and all that. So, you know, they're a tough team to get ready for. We have a lot of respect for them.
So, why does this team have the ability to be able to put distractions behind them?
Well, I said, I think the team had a good week of focus and a good week of practice, and they played well. So, those things usually go hand in hand. Not always, but usually.
Bill, did the fan support mean anything to you individually? Because you seem to acknowledge.
Yeah, no, I did notice it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. We got great fans, and they showed up and supported the team, and you know, I felt some personally as well, and I appreciate that.
Remember the last time you acknowledged fans and waved to them as they cheered you on? And that seemed a little unusual.
Probably the last time we won a game at home.
Bill, you had after Ellis's fumble, they had the big defensive stand, and like cameras flashing the sideline, looked like you were particularly spirited after that stand.
Well, I thought that was a big play. You know, it was right at the start of the fourth quarter, and you know, they had good field position. Had they been able to, you know, convert that into points, it would have, you know, closed it to a 2-score game. And you know, we knocked them back out of field goal range, and you know, had a couple big negative plays there. Got the ball back, and then you know, the offense. You know, did a great job there. It was, I don't know, about a 10-minute drive or whatever it was, went the whole length of the field. And, you know, that kind of sealed the game. So it was, you know, those two series, our ability to stop them there when they had the field position, and offensively, the drive, you know, the length of the field. That was the whole fourth quarter. I mean, that was a huge swing in the game, but it was a big stop for us.
Bill, I know you like to look at the tape, but it seemed from the naked eye standpoint that Roosevelt Colvin had a special game.
Well, I'll hold on that one until I look at the tape. I mean, he made some plays. You know, I saw a couple out there that I think he could have done a little better on. But, you know, he made some plays. Obviously, the first play-action pass there, getting out underneath that comeback route was, you know, was a great play. You know, our first defensive play. And, you know, he did a nice job on that. He read the play well and made a nice catch. Something our linebackers aren't always noted for, but he, you know, made a great catch, and that was a big turnover for us. Fortunately, we weren't able to convert it into anything, but it was, you know, it was a good play. And, you know, we had some good pass rush from, I think, all across the front. You know, we had some push in the pocket. Rivers did a good job of stepping up, and I don't know how he got rid of some of those. Seemed like we were, you know, hanging all over him, but, you know, he was able to stand in there and make some throws. So, you know, you got to give him credit on that. He did a good job.
It seemed like you guys flipped your outside linebackers more than you normally do. Normally, I think you kind of keep one on one side, one on the other. Was that maybe a product of not giving the Chargers an idea of where they wanted to match up or motion or any of that?
Yeah, we gave them a couple different looks on that, but sometimes they flipped them, sometimes they didn't, and they move their guys around a lot, so it creates some different matchups. We just wanted to kind of have a little bit of a moving target for them there so that they didn't always know where everybody was.
Well, you're talking about your linebacker plays. Dallas obviously made a pretty special play there for the interception.
Yeah, he did. He did. He made a nice play, anticipated the throw, made a good catch, and, you know, he really showed his speed on that. I mean, he had a couple guys chasing him, and you know, I don't know if they made up any ground, but they didn't make up much. And, you know, he really showed it was a pretty good run. I don't know, how far was that? 60? Huh? 65. Yeah, it's a pretty good run.
So, and that, in addition to Colvin's strip sack, I think those were the only two times that they really got inside your 40 in the first half. And I mean, how big is it? I mean, especially as a defensive coach, to see that those guys are making those plays in those situations and coming up big in big situations.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. You know, you come into the halftime 24-0 and make some stops on defense, and, you know, have some long drives offensively. You know, that's the way you want to try to play every game. But doesn't always happen that way. But it was awesome. I mean, the players played great tonight. They did. They played great. Not perfect, but, you know, it was a good, solid performance. Proud of them.
I want to find out exactly who that was that asked the question about Roosevelt Colvin, where he said, I know you want to look at the tape, and actually elicited a smile from Belichick, who up to that point, when he was asked about a difficult week, and he said, well, yeah, because the Chargers, you know, they're a difficult team.
They're a good football team.
So nothing happened this week, I guess.
Apparently not. No, I mean, absolutely nothing.
An amazing ability to compartmentalize.
From time one to time two, what we do is we focus down on the game plan, and that's all we're focused on. And honestly, the one thing about the New England Patriots, you can say what you want about Tapegate, you can say what you want about Bill Belichick and all the things that went on, but I guarantee you this team is better than any other team in the National Football League, putting distractions aside, whether they're the Tapegate, whether it's injuries, whatever the case may be, putting those distractions aside and getting ready to prepare and play a game. And they are great at that.
Okay, so we get back to the game that they played. Colvin made a nice play.
Yes.
Adalius Thomas with a pick, and then looks like a deer running down the field. Give us an idea of what they were able to do defensively that just confounded Rivers.
Well, it's all about having the ability to do multiple different things. And I think one of the things about this New England Patriots team is they've got linebackers that can play defensive end, linebackers can play outside, inside, and they create great confusion by giving you a multitude of different looks. And you heard Bill Belichick allude to that. Hey, we've got all kinds of guys moving around. We shifted them around a little bit more than we normally shift them around. And I think that's one of the great things they do. Roosevelt Colvin was awesome. Off the edge, in pass coverage. Here you're going to see him right here. Looks like he's coming off the edge, going to rush the passer, sits for a second, then drops into his zone underneath the out route right there. Great hands, great anticipation, read that route. Now we're going to see Adalius Thomas right here. Look at him stacked behind Junior Seau. He's hidden right there. I'm going, I'm coming over here, and then all of a sudden breaks on the football, understands where that, and that's a 275-pound man. A 275-pound man.
Wide receiver's not gaining any ground.
No, you can't gain any ground on that. And that's one of the things that this football team does so well is they give you a multitude of different looks, and then they understand where their assignments are. So they'll get in one position, like we saw Adalius Thomas right there, and he'll get to a different part of the football field where he's, you know, you don't think he's going to be able to have the speed and agility to get there. And they just did a great job with that all night, confusing Phillip Rivers.
So the Patriots have won both their football games 38-14. There is a yin to every yang, and the Chargers are on the other end of this. And you hear the numbers that Neil mentioned a few moments ago about LaDainian Tomlinson averaging 1.9 yards per carry. This is the MVP of the league. I know he typically doesn't start fast. Last year only had 100-yard game in his first 6, but this, what's going on?
Well, it's scary right now, and it comes down to a couple of different things. You look at Phillip Rivers, you know, he did not play exceptionally well, obviously. Offensive line-wise, you've got to give a lot of credit to the New England Patriots being able to stuff that offensive line and stuff that running game. But it comes down to this for me. Everybody's going to play LaDainian Tomlinson 8, 9 guys in the box. They're going to try to create a new line of scrimmage until what? Until one of those receivers out there can step up other than Antonio Gates and make some plays and take some pressure off this offense, and nobody has done it yet. They've got pedestrian wide receivers at best, and somebody's got to make a play.
All right, you take a look at this, and you see LaDainian Tomlinson. Now, granted, you're playing against the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots, two very stout defenses, but last year at this point he had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did have a game against the Oakland Raiders last year in Week 1, so you're not comparing apples to apples necessarily, but still, the numbers thus far are brutal for LT. Norv Turner with his thoughts on a butt-whooping in New England.
I don't really think it's a new system. I think most of the things we're doing are very similar. You know, we played 2 outstanding defenses, and we're not playing as with the crispness, the continuity that we will in time. I think some of that's us, some of that's who we're playing.
All right, I'm some swinger in a powder blue jersey and a big Chargers foam fingerhead hat, and I'm a big Charger fan. We're role-playing here. You're an actor, daytime television's Mark Schlereth. How concerned should I be?
You should be very concerned.
Why?
Well, because right now you look at the strength of this offense, and the strength of this offense has been able to run the ball, control the clock, and then get some one-on-one matchups on the outside. Right now, the San Diego Chargers are not doing any of that. And you heard Norv Turner mention it, continuity. Continuity becomes a big issue. You've got to understand, you've revamped this whole coaching staff. A.J. Smith went out. He fired his head coach. It was 14-2 in Marty Schottenheimer, and you've revamped this whole coaching staff. So there's some continuity issues right there in regards to players understanding exactly what they're asked to do and what their responsibilities are and how they're going to carry out those responsibilities. And then, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a receiver that can take some pressure off of LaDainian Tomlinson, if you don't have a receiver that can take some pressure off of Antonio Gates, you're going to sit there and say, okay, you guys beat us. Vincent Jackson beat us.
Right.
And if you can't step up and you can't beat them, then you know what? You're going to be in trouble all season long. Right now, offensively, this is a football team that I'm very concerned about.
A little early to say it's a statement game that we can really take a ton out of going forward towards January, but early on, New England obviously has shown what they are. San Diego's got some things to work on as they head back to the drawing board. Mark, we appreciate you being with us. Send it back to Neil with more on the Patriots.
As for Spygate and the Patriots, it isn't over until the NFL commissioner says it's over. Roger Goodell telling NBC Sunday night that he reserves the right to throw another flag on New England and increase the punishment if he gets more or different information regarding that illegal videotaping by the team. The commissioner also said he did not believe Pats owner Robert Kraft had prior knowledge of the spying. Kraft telling NBC he had no such knowledge and promised it would not happen again. Happening now, the Blitz.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Blitz for Week 2. And Tom, you and I have been at this a long time. And I'm reminded again that the more you think you know, you realize you know nothing at all. Football, that's for sure.
Well, didn't learn much in Week 1, but didn't know it until I watched Week 2.
Well, but there's one thing we did know. Look, the first game of the week we're going to show, what, Bengals at Browns? What are you kidding? What are you kidding? That's why they play the games. And I tell you what, this became one of the most entertaining games we've seen in a long time. Even Chad Johnson trying to make friends with the dog pound. There'd be a reason. Carson Palmer, Rudy Johnson, touchdown, 7-0 Cincy. The route is on. Now 7-6. Derek Anderson starting. Remember Charlie Fry started last week? He's traded to Seattle. Joe Juravicius, that's nice. 13-7 Cleveland. Then Palmer back at it. The high pass to you say Hushmanzada.
I say Hushmanzada.
TJ, touchdown.
Yeah, and watch the footwork on the sideline, and boy, that is close right there. And if you take a look at TJ, Romeo.
Romeo.
TJ knows it's close.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? 14-13 Bengals. Josh Cribbs. Remember this name. He's a big-time special teams player. Whoop! Bounces to the outside of the 28-yard line. Gets a block there. Shakes another tackle. Evades another tackler. All the way down to the Cincinnati 11 at 85-yard return, and they're happy in Cleveland. 3rd and 8. Anderson. Pump fake. Nice. Wide open. Juravicius. The Browns lead the Bengals 20-14. What a game we have. Palmer. to Chad Johnson. Where's the defense? And he wants to go. Oh, no, the dog pound. Oh, I meant to go over there. No, let me go over here. No, Chad. It's like a little puppy. He just wants to run and play.
Chad's just having fun. We're going to take another look at this move that he puts on the DB, Lee Biden. And you just watch right here. He plants that right foot, runs that 7 route, and he's so open that the DB never comes back in the picture. Boom.
And caught for the most yards in Bengal history now. Derek Anderson to Kellen Winslow. These are the Browns, Tom. They looked horrible in week 1. 27-21 after that 25-yarder. Anderson, pump fake. Braylon Edwards between defenders, a 34-yard TD pass, and Cleveland's up 34-24.
Yeah, a little stop-go route on the rookie Leon Hall. And once you plant your feet as a DB, you're not going to start up again.
Now here come the Bengals at the Cleveland 14, 3rd and 8, Palmer. Time. Chad Johnson in the end zone, touchdown, and now he's near the dog pound. Oh my goodness, he's in there. There comes the beer. Here comes the guys with the milk bone heads. Come on, he's just trying to make friends. Well, then he towels off. I'll hire another one. All right, the Browns still lead 34-31. It's still the 3rd quarter. Jamal Lewis, 10, 20, 30. He could go all the way. 66 yards, 41-31, the Browns. Now here come the Bengals inside the 10. Palmer to Houshmandzadeh, 41-38. Bengals within 3. Now 4th. Braylon Edwards. Diving, rolling into the end zone, 37 yards. These are the Browns against the Bengals.
You take a look at the telestration. That's Dexter Jackson, the safety, and once he leaves that space, you've got the corner Leon Hall in one-on-one coverage. His eyes are back in the backfield. Never makes a play on the ball.
All right, Tom, under 4 minutes to go. Let's pick it up. 51-38 Cincinnati. Palmer, Glenn Holt. Bengals not done. 7 yards, 51-45. About a half minute to go now. Same score. Midfield. Palmer looking for Chad Johnson. But there's Lee. After all this, we're going to get defense.
Yes.
After all this. And Bodden does a nice job. Here's some good footwork.
Well, right there you see him tap that left foot down to make sure that he gets that interception. That's an outstanding play.
Nobody would have predicted this. But in the end, the Cleveland Browns doused the Bengals 51-45. 96 points. Each team with over 500 yards in total offense for a total of 1,085. And that's not all. 11 touchdown passes in the game. These two quarterbacks ice down your arms.
The pressure's always there. Like I said, you got to win. Win and make plays, and everything will be all right. But I was fired up for it, and at the same time, I wouldn't say I was nervous. When I go out there, though, I felt prepared and was confident in what we had going in. So I made things a lot easier.
Derek, he stayed in the pocket and he was poised and he managed the offense. And that's all you can ask for from a quarterback. Just don't show that you're pressed and just get us going, and that's what he did.
Boy, shades of the old days, Jamal Lewis with all those rushing yards. But look, the big story, only 4 times in history have 2 teams combined to throw for 11 or more touchdown passes in a game. It happened once with 12 in 1969. That's Billy Kilmer of the New Orleans Saints. He had 6, the best Charlie Johnson of the St. Louis Cardinals. Then, week 2 on this game, in 1963, that is Tom Flores for the Oakland Raiders in the AFL against George Blanda of the Houston Oilers. And Yelburton Abraham Tittle, one of a few gentlemen that has the single game record with 7 touchdowns for the New York Football Giants. Norm Snead of the Redskins had 4 for a total of 11. All right, so that's fun, and it was fun to look up those box scores because I know all the guys that caught that. Frank Gifford, Del Schaffner. I mean, you can look at all the AFL stuff, but let's go to this weekend. The Bengals. You can't play defense like this and expect to go anywhere.
Well, this is certainly more like the Bengals look defensively in the preseason than they did last week in their opener against the Baltimore Ravens. And I think that it's all phases. You're talking about rushing the passer. You're talking about stopping the run. You're talking about being able to cover. And I think that as you look in microcosm, what the Bengals were able to do 2 years ago was create a lot of turnovers that got them to the playoffs. But you can't depend on it every single week. First game, 6 turnovers. We win that football game, but still the Ravens had a chance to win. Today, 1 turnover from the Cleveland Browns. They put up over 50 on you. A lot of work to be done by Marvin Lewis and his staff with this defense.
And how about an attaboy for the Cleveland Browns and Romeo Crennel? Given up as a laughing stock, they trade their quarterback Fry to Seattle. They put up 51 points on their state rival.
And I don't think Derek Anderson's going anywhere soon.
No, Brady Quinn, time to now learn a little bit, unless Charlie Weiss steals him first because they need him at Notre Dame. All right, meanwhile, a guy that there's no question about that would be Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. They had 10 days off before they faced. This rivalry is back with Tennessee. Peyton Manning, Dallas Clark over the middle from the 22-yard line. 13-3, the Colts at Tennessee in the Titans home opener. They lead it. And what happened on the play, Tom?
Well, linebacker Ryan Fowler bites on the play-action pass, and nobody runs it any better than the Colts. And Manning easy toss to Clark for a touchdown.
And so, with the down 13-6 is what Vince Young does. He scrambles, and he's a bigger guy than Kelvin Hayden. They talk about Young throws the ball to his chest. The youngster, he's a leader, but every now and then he's got to remember, can't afford the 15 yards. Titans punt. 120 seconds in the half. This is what the great teams do. Manning to Anthony Gonzalez, the rookie. Manning to tick, 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 tick to Marvin Harrison. Oh, you want your home clock guy, don't you?
I would expect
It's supposed to run out. Red Auerbach would have done that. And so 1 second to go. And Vinatieri had a bizarre day. Some of the field goals he made were bizarre. One doinked in off the crossbar. Anyway, 16-6 Colts at the half. Pass for Reggie Wayne, intercepted by Cortland Finnegan. Hey, the luck of the Irish, and he returns it to the 15-yard line. The Blarney Stone. Ensuing Titans drive down to the 3. Large Lendale White. First time he's been in the end zone as a pro. It's 19-13 Indianapolis. Now 22-13. But Vince Young, he wins, doesn't he? Uh-oh. Kelvin Hayden with a hit. Fumble. Taiwan Hagler. Marvelous Taiwan Hagler recovers for the Colts. But Adam Vinatieri, automatic, no good. Wide from 36, so it remains a 9-point game. 3rd and goal, Titans. How about this throw and catch? Roy Dell Williams. And the Titans have closed it to 22-20. Vinatieri looking on. Under 2 to go, 3rd and 10 Colts. Kyle Vanden Bosch with a big play. Tennessee's defense much stouter than last year. They have to punt. Young scrambling on 3rd and 9. 12 yards, goes out of bounds. I'm just gonna, and the clock stops. Next play. Remember the play to Roy Dell Williams? Here's another one with a little comebacker. Down to the 47. 3rd and 4 from the Indy 47. To Brandon Jones. Ooh. Brings up 4th down. Down 2. 15 seconds. And the Colts know that it's going to be Vince Young. And then, whoa, he did the whoop. The pitch to the lineman, then it's loose. In the end, it's Darrell Reed. It's a fumble. Recovers for the Colts. And the Colts had this one sniffed out.
Yeah, you see the 7-man front and all eyes on Vince Young. You see the contain guys on the outside, making sure that he's not going to break contain to the outside. Finally, Vince Young has to get rid of the football, try to make something happen. Just trying to keep it close, trying to win it at the end.
The Colts, the defending champs, 2-0, big division win on the road. This rivalry's kind of back, though. They split close games last year, and on this one, the Titans gave the Colts all they could handle. Both defenses continue to tell us that they're improved off last year.
Tennessee up and coming. I think we're going to see classic games from them, and the Colts have the poise of a champion.
Yep, and the rematch will be fun to watch as well. But the Colts do what they have to do, win in the division 2-0. Back soon on The Blitz.
The Blitz is brought to you by Nike.
O.J. Simpson, a part of so many NFL Sundays, is again as he has once again run afoul of the law. He was arrested Sunday morning in Las Vegas and is being held without bail for his alleged role in a robbery which Simpson claims was nothing of the sort, just an attempt to retrieve memorabilia that was his. Captain James Dillon of the Las Vegas PD explains the circumstances surrounding the arrest.
On Thursday, September 13th, just before 8 p.m., Las Vegas Metro received a call of an armed robbery at a hotel in West Sahara. This morning, after a careful review, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department decided to effect the arrest of O.J. Simpson. He will be shortly transported to the Clark County Detention Center, where he will be booked on the following charges: robbery with a deadly weapon, 2 counts; assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts; conspiracy to commit burglary, and burglary with a firearm.
Clark County District Attorney David Rogers said of Simpson, quote, he's facing a lot of time. O.J. Simpson said in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, quote, I've done nothing wrong. I'm O.J. Simpson. How am I going to think that I'm going to rob somebody and get away with it? Simpson continued, I thought what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, closed quote.
SportsCenter back in 60 seconds. Tom Brady talks, Eli Manning watches, Brett Favre moves, and the Saints, they do not march on. Drama for Tiger. See why it had nothing to do with the outcome. And the outcome of the Yanks-Sox regular season series. Why New York may have had Detroit on its mind instead. We're back in 60.
Beth Ann, 3,000 texts last month.
NWRUS?
That wasn't a compliment. Sean, 1,000 texts?
UGH.
And you're old enough to know better.
MYOB, will you?
Grandma.
Mom, who could you be texting?
IDK, my BFF Rose.
Now get a texting plan the whole family can NJOY. AT&T brings your family unlimited messaging to anyone on any network. Now buy any phone and get up to 4 free. Singular's name is now AT&T.
SportsCenter, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. And Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's.
Uptown's got its hustlers. Bowery's got its bums. The White Sox got Big Jim Thome.
He's a home run hitting son of a gun.
Yeah, he is.
Ball hit deep. Way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Number 500 for Jim Thome. A game winner. Here in the bottom of the ninth inning as the Sox win it.
Dustin Mosley, Jim Thome, walk-off for career number 500. It's like a movie script, he said, as he hugs his father there, giving a kiss to his wife. How about this? Dye and Jenks carrying Thome off the field. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. Enough. Thome becomes the first player ever to hit a walk-off homer for his 500th, reaches 500 homers on his 6,802nd at-bat. That's the 4th fewest at-bats to reach that number. And this is the first season in which 3 players hit their 500th home run. Frank Thomas and A-Rod, your other 2. All right, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN featured the Red Sox and Yankees at Fenway. First time we've seen Roger Clemens and Curt Schilling against each other since Game 7 of the 01 World Series. Schilling against Robinson Cano, 1-0 lead, top 5. Cano came into this 11 of 28, 3 homers, a .393 batting average against Schilling. Not surprising, he goes yard 18th. We're tied. Clemens in a jam. Jason Varitek and Johnny Damon, who dropped one earlier, gets Clemens out of the jam. Still tied. Derek Jeter, .439 batting average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, leads Major League Baseball. Anytime you hear somebody say Derek Jeter's not clutch, stop it. 6 of his 11 home runs this year have come against the Red Sox, and it's 4-1. And if they hold the lead, Schilling will fall to 0-3 in 5 starts against the Yankees this season. I said if, because Julio Lugo in a 4-2 game scores Varitek off Mariano Rivera, makes it 4-3. Then Rivera hits Jacoby Ellsbury. So we've got the winning run on first. David Ortiz, 7 for 19, a homer and 4 RBI against the Sandman. He's on deck. And now he's up because Rivera has walked Dustin Pedroia. Bases loaded, but Ortiz flies out to Jeter, and the Yanks hang on and win it. 4-3 is your final, and that lead is down to 4.5 games.
Detroit was watching that game with great intent. They were going for the sweep of Minnesota. Curtis Granderson, give it up for this guy. His average up to 306. You're looking at his 6th leadoff home run of the year. He has 80 extra base hits. He's a leadoff man. 80 extra base hits. It's his 22nd home run of the year. They lead 1-0, then they hand the pearl to Todd Jones, trying to get his 300th career save in a spot of trouble. Bases loaded. Michael Kadire grounds out. That's it. That's all. Jair Jurgens had a no-hitter into the 6th. He got the win there. Tigers still have a shot at catching the Yanks for the wild card. Both teams have divisional games remaining. Yanks final homestand this week with Baltimore and Toronto. Detroit, a tough series starting Monday in Cleveland. Kenny Rogers goes first for them. If they tie, the one-game playoff for the postseason spot will be held in Yankee Stadium. Back to football. Bills, Steelers, everyone's mind on Kevin Everett. The Bills players wearing T-shirts for Everett underneath their jerseys. Everett watched part of the game, incidentally, on television. Steeler Nation thinking of him as well. Then wearing the throwbacks, it's like the steel curtain defense. J.P. Lossman hit by James Harrison and James Ferrier. Pass was ruled incomplete. 50 yards of offense in the first half for Buffalo. Willie Parker did his thing. Led to one of 4 first-half Jeff Reed field goals. Steelers lead 12-0 at the break. Fourth quarter, Bills trailing 14-3. Lossman hit by Larry Foote. Fumbles recovered by Anthony Thomas. He's trying to pick up the first down in the red zone area, tackled by James Ferrier. They turned it over on downs. Willie Parker here, 23 carries, 126 yards, and the touchdown. 500th regular season win for the Steelers. Bob Holtzman has more.
Sunday morning, Kevin Everett was clearly on the Bills' mind. Players warmed up in special T-shirts they'd made. All week, the Bills insisted when it was time to do their job, they would. Apparently, it's not that simple.
It'd be easy to, to try to use that as an excuse for anything, but, we just came out here, we didn't play very well, and we got beat.
It's on the back of everyone's mind, but, that did not affect us, and I'm speaking for the team and myself included. I did not see it affect us, one bit.
No doubt, Kevin's situation was tough on you, but you have to find a way to overcome, prepare, and get ready. Coach did a great job of getting us prepared. We just have to do a better job of executing the game plan.
After the game, a number of Steelers players mentioned how impressed they were with the Bills' mindset. Linebacker Larry Foote said the Bills came out fighting. And wide receiver Hines Ward said the Bills were focused. It's just that the Steelers executed better. In Pittsburgh, Bob Holtzman, ESPN.
Is Tom Seaver, is he the only one who gets to be Tom Terrific?
No, that dude's pretty terrific.
Yeah, Tom, you think so, Doctor? 25 of 31, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Get in the game, Brady. With the Patriots just roll the Chargers, 38-14 afterwards. Tom, terrific.
I think you just, like I said, you just focus on the task at hand. And if we were to listen to everything that everybody said and respond, there's just too many battles to fight. There's only one battle that I care about, and that's playing football and performing well. And we can control that. And you just can't go out and respond to everything that everybody says about you. There's not enough hours in the day, especially after you've been winning over, for the last 6 or 7 years. So, do we have a lot of goodwill built up toward this team? It's funny because, after the first Super Bowl, everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's great. What a great thing to come out as a team. And after the second Super Bowl, it's like, yeah, all right, you guys are pretty good. And then the third one, it was like, oh, we're sick of you guys. So we know that, but we still have a lot of fun coming in and playing.